Hey guys, Dan Carr here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new 600EX RT flash from Canon and the STE-3 RT speedlight transmitter. So this is a brand new system from Canon. This is the first time we actually have a radio trigger for the flashes. Before we had optical triggering system, and yeah, the range wasn't very good, and outdoors in bright light it pretty much didn't work at all. So this is a welcome addition to the Canon lineup, and the 600EX is shipping from most big dealers at the moment. The STE-3 will start shipping pretty soon. I haven't seen anywhere else have these in stock right now, but as you can see, I'm just going to run through some first impressions here. This isn't really a big review, that'll come in time on my blog, but I wanted to show these on the video and give a few impressions. The design of the STE-3 is quite nice actually. It doesn't feel as heavy as you think it ought to, which is nice. It won't unbalance the camera too much. The sleek design kind of sits on top of the camera and doesn't really get in your view too much, which is pretty neat. We're powered by a pair of AA batteries for this one, and the overall build of it is very nice. It's not overly heavy, but it feels solid. We've got rubber gasket on the hot shoe here, and rubberized ports on the side here. So overall, I think the design definitely complements the build quality of their top-end flashes recently. We also have a rubber gasket inside the battery compartment. So they're saying that the weather sealing will be maintained when you put it on a 1 Series body and on the 5D3 and all that sort of stuff. So the design of it is actually a mirror image of the 600EX RT flash itself, so that's pretty cool. Once you've got one figured out, you pretty much have the other one figured out, so you don't have to worry too much about that. The menu system's pretty intuitive. Down here we have an on-off unlock switch. You can see when it lights up it's bright green. You can also change this to orange, or you can have orange for when it's a slave and green when it's a master or something like that. You can pick and choose. But the menu system is, as I said, it's pretty intuitive. The 4 buttons across here actually aren't physically labeled, they're labeled on screen, so their function changes depending on which mode you're in. And then you have the normal scroll wheel in the middle here. Yep, all of the menu functions are fairly obvious and similar to what we've seen on the 580EX 2 in some ways, but a lot easier to delve into the different menus. And now when we go into things like the custom function menu, like this one right here, we actually have some description as to what each function does now, so it's not really a mystery anymore. You won't have to always have the flash manual with you in your camera bag, so it's a lot easier to use in that respect. Moving on to the flash itself. Let's take this shoe off. Physically, very slightly larger than my old 580. In particular, this part here, it now zooms to 200 millimeters, where the old one was only 135, so that's no doubt added to the physical size here. The body itself is not physically too different in size, but quite different in the button layout, obviously. Again, we're powered by 4 AA's. We have all the rubber sealing around the hot shoe and the PC sync ports and the battery pack ports and all that sort of stuff. The usual rotational head, as you would expect from a top-end flash, and bounce cards and 14mm spread adapter on there. So yeah, very nice, very nicely made piece of kit. We also, for the first time, got a little pouch, and inside it we have some colored gels. So it's a little booklet. Unfortunately, they only give you 2 different colors of gels, even though there's more pockets than that in there. I don't really know why they did that. That seems like an unnecessary shortcut really for such an expensive flash, so they give you this little bag to put it in. And we have a gel holder. So this is the first time Canon have provided gels. They're finally catching up to Nikon in that respect. You basically put the gel in here, hook it onto the bottom, clips on the top like that. Sensor under here actually determines which gel is in there, And when the when the flash is on one of Canon's new cameras from 2012 onwards, so we're talking 1DX, 5D3, the flash will communicate to the camera which gel is in there, and it will then automatically set the white balance. So that's a pretty neat feature. One shortcoming I saw immediately, though, which I was quite disappointed about, was during the launch of this system, Canon made a big deal of the fact that this was a two-way communicating system. So the flash can actually talk back to the on-camera transmitter, and it communicates things like when this is recharged and recycled, and you get an audible beep on camera, which is a nice feature, but they haven't taken that two-way communication to all of its possibilities, in my opinion. For example, as I said, when this flash is on camera with a gel in it, it communicates to the camera what the white balance should be. I don't see why, in that case, when the flash is off camera, why it also can't use this two-way communication to communicate via the transmitter back to the camera the exact same information. So unfortunately, that isn't the case. When you're using the gel remotely, you have to dial in the white balance manually on the camera. So that's a real missed trick, if you ask me. Another little thing to note at the same time, whilst they provide all the options to change the power settings and all this sort of stuff via the transmitter, for some reason they don't allow you to manually zoom the head of the remote flash. So as I said, this zooms to 200 millimeters, and if you were using it as a rim light or something like that, it would have been really neat to be able to control the zoom of each head remotely from the transmitter, and maybe adjust the spread effect of your rim light or anything like that. It's a real missed trick in that area as well, if you ask me. Overall, though, I'm so far pretty impressed with the system. It really puts the fun back into single flash off-camera lighting. It's a simple system to use. You can get it up and running in just a few minutes. And I was having great fun with it last night on my 5D Mark III. There's definitely a few features which really benefit from having a newer camera. So the on-screen menus that you get with the 5D3 and the 1DX and all the cameras moving forwards makes it a lot easier to control the functions. But it still worked really well with my 1D Mark IV when I tried that as well. And overall, yeah, I'm excited to use this in my workflow and see how I can really push the system. I'm hoping to get another couple of these and really try and do some action work with them if I can. But just as a simple one light system for sort of on-the-fly portraiture, it's a really fun system to use, and I will definitely post a more in-depth review on the blog as soon as I can.